It's not automatic that you need to have kids. It's you need to be rich. Is it true? So you need to be rich and actually, you said rich and what?
And a bit crazy and
A
rich.
bit crazy and rich for you to have children. I was looking at a certain thing on Facebook. You remember the thing that you were sharing me?
Yes.
From social media. Actually, it was on Facebook and stuff.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes,
I want you to share exactly what you shared
I
with
think
me.
I can read it to the viewers and the audience. The guy posted to say plants are now the new pets.
Mhm.
Pets are the new kids. So a comment, someone asked on the comment, then what are the kids? Then he replied to say kids are now like exotic animals. You have to be a bit crazy or rich to have them. So wanted to have a conversation here.
Yeah,
What do you
because I
think
remember
about
the thing that it was a very interesting story, by the way, and we had a real good chat with my friend Owen here, and we were like, oh, okay, I think let's take it to Kutika and just have
views
a
and yeah.
yeah. And by the way, we didn't agree. He's on the other side, I'm on the other side. Yes, Owen, I want to hear what you said. We can continue with our conversation. Yes.
Yeah, so for me, I've seen there a number of people that
Okay, is it true? Is it true to say for you to have kids you need to? It's like this time it's become like one of those things where it's not automatic that you need to have kids. It's you need to be rich. Is it true? So you need to be rich and actually, you said rich and what?
and a bit crazy and
A
rich.
bit crazy and rich for you to have children. Do you agree to that statement?
That statement is true. One, I've seen most guys who are not yet employed, they are not keen in getting married and to start having kids. They are not prepared for that responsibility. And I've seen those who are crazy, every child, every teenager you know is got a kid of some sort. So for me, I agree with that statement. The normal ones who are supposed to have kids and to take care of them, I think they are too calculative, they are too conservative, they don't really want their space to come and be disturbed by kids. But you'd find there are those that are rich, have got everything, they are pushing hard to have kids and
No,
kids.
this is the part where I don't agree with you. You see, this is the part. Okay, let me go on a different thing. Look, I have learned to say people that are rich are actually not having children. People that have got money, I can bet on that one. Show me a person that is wealthy and has got children.
There are a lot.
A number of them, like more than 3 or 4,
No, we're saying,
especially 3.
we're not saying having a lot of kids, having kids. So people who are rich, after you've gotten your money, at least you should have 2 or 1 or 2 kids.
But why
to
is it that
enjoy
people?
money.
Why is it that now on that statement? Why is
But
that people
these
without
people-
money, they are the people with large numbers of children?
So this is what the statement is. You have to be a bit crazy to have, or a bit rich. So you'd find the rich after they have they have made their money. They are thinking, now who is going to remain with this money? Can I have a child now? So you see them start chasing for a child. Or those who are crazy like the statement, you have nothing to do, makombo ni wafana muvango bala chapi. Makombo ni
You say it that way.
But this
sounds very wrong.
ababali pakati hapa. Ababali pakati hapa. The middle.
They are not crazy and they are not rich.
They are not crazy, they are not rich. They don't want kids.
They don't want.
They would rather
Okay, but
keep
what
a
would be
pet.
the reason why a
They
person
would
would want to
rather-
have a child?
Yeah, so a child is a child.
Okay, and let's look at this possibility. What is the reason of those that are fearing to have children? Like, okay, let's explore that thought, because now you're like, okay. So there are those that are scared to have children. What is the fear?
So one of the lady that I talked to, I was asking, why don't you want to have kids? I'm not prepared to go through that drama. Kwambochinja diaper, kakakula, kalemba kuchipupa, and this lady is a clean freak. Somehow she's got white towels, white wall, white sofa, so she doesn't want mwana buyalembelembe papipupa. So I'd be like, those, no, brother, you see, keep flowers and a fluffy in my house then. And you're like, are you seriously? There are people like that, and I was like, it's
you see, that topic borders on a lot. I had a chat with a certain friend, two of my colleagues. So when we went for lunch, so we sat and says, no. So these colleagues of mine, female, and there was about 2 or 3 guys. So they were saying, it's hard to find a good man.
Yeah.
Okay? I know that is a story for another thing. Like, I wouldn't want to have... So there's one way on how to have children.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one way that God allows to have children.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be married.
Yes.
One. So that issue of having children, you need to be crazy. Meaning, you can have children outside marriage, but that is crazy. Then they told me and says, no, me, I would rather even die like this and church and not even getting married. I said, God is good.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, go and multiply, fill the land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is one of the command that God has given. Subdue.
Mm-hmm.
And subdue it. So we have the mandate.
Mm-hmm.
We have the mandate to have children because it is a command God has given us.
Yeah.
So I asked one thing to someone, the same friends of mine. Asked her, do you like yourself? Said yes. You consider yourself to be beautiful? She said yes. Then I said, okay. But why do you want to chinga someone to live a normal life like you by you not having children? Because I cannot find a good man and I don't want to have. He says, no, good men are out there. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. The only problem that we have is society has prescribed certain standards of a man, and that is what we call a good man, a good guy. Though they argued, they gave me ideas to say, like, no, the issue that is there is a good man is nothing to do with those standards, because it is me who wants that man, and according to, at least let him have, he might not have everything that I want in a man, but at least let him have much of those. So, in short, what we're trying to put across, or in short, what I'm trying to put across is, you have a mandate to have children.
Yeah.
You cannot say, no, I will just plant this plant of mine, or this flower is my baby. Even called, oh baby, my baby. No. Ndiye jamanje mwamopolisha manje mwatenga na matepo ya a certain plant manje mwafika na munyumba mbofaka na polish, you begin to go look for, is it wax or something? I'm just imagining things, trying to when it's come. Yes. Now you become a
mwana akwele munyumba mbotyola ayo matepo yamene machita wako.
Waza kupishana pamoja na mwana wako. Waza kupishana pamoja na mwana wako. So you cannot also replace children with pets.
Yeah, no.
You can't, because you want to have so much control. It's not everything that you can control in this world.
Yes.
Okay? Because a dog, you can say, hey, get out, and it will go. You can go and lock it somewhere else, and it will. Okay? And now a child, you cannot do that to a child.
Yeah.
It is insane. It is being selfish, because if you think about it, really, it's a situation where you're going to look at, I cannot have children because of your personal interest. I've heard people like, I cannot have children because, process of getting pregnant, and especially the 9 months, the process of giving birth. I do not want your career comes to a halt. Guys, there's a reason why God created you to be a man. There's a reason why God created you to be a woman. No responsibility of going to school. I actually remember one of my teachers. I'm not going to say the subject he was teaching me. Just those that remember, and my friends will remember, about family planning. I do not know if this issue has got connection to this family planning, or like So someone was saying, what is family planning? It says, no, having a number of, it's like considered to be having a small number of children. A certain teacher, he was my teacher. That time I was his pupil. He said family planning is, it wasn't in the book. He said in his own mind. I remember that vividly. He said, family planning. Then asked us a question before he said that. He says, here is a guy that got 2 children. He's failing to feed them. He's failing them to take them to school. He's failing in most of the responsibilities of a parent.
Yeah.
And here is another person who's got 20 children. They are having all the 3 major meals. They are all going to school. So which one is doing good family planning among the 2?
So family planning basically is to know when to have a child. It's not really to have a small number of kids. You can have 20, space them nicely.
What do you mean space them?
Obviously, if you're having those 20 kids from one woman, you need to give that woman space to heal.
No, what if she's actually ready to have children at that particular time?
No, the body can't allow. Every year, if you allow, the body is going to fail.
No, Baba,
so, look at their spacing. Most of the kids are spaced correctly, 2 years or 1 year and a half. I've never, only a few where maybe about a year or so, but the majority of them, majority of
no, this our generation, trust me, they would not want to have children at least in the space of 1 year. And I'll give an example. Yeah. Every child that you see that there's a space of 1 year, now this is what happens. So if a child is born January, and another child is born next year January or somewhere June, you know what happens? It means the mother fell pregnant
when that one was still
young, was still a baby.
Yeah,
so if you're going to say 9 months, it means the mother fell pregnant. That's July. That's 7 months to January, right?
Yeah. So
that means the mother would have fallen pregnant by
it was 4 years.
When the child was about 4 months.
4 months.
Yes. So now imagine that your child is the new child, the one that was born, is 4 months old, and you fall pregnant again as a woman. So that's what used to happen in the old times. They managed, but ours nowadays, I want to believe even bedroom duties will not even resume within that time.
That is a lot of stress for a woman. They all shall.
No, that's what they were. That was what was happening.
But most of them were 2 years in between. The 1 year ones are very exceptional, very bad.
Not 2 years, but it was 1 year 6 months. Most of them.
Yeah.
1 year 6 months.
6 months now, 2 years.
Those
are the majority space.
Okay.
So basically, family planning is to know.
I'm saying,
yeah. So
because if you think about 1 year 6 months, it's like this one is actually something like that. That's when now another one is coming. But at the end of it all, if we're going to have this,
so in terms of what do you call it in medical terms, mortality, death between pregnancy, how was it then compared to now? Because that is also one way to reduce the mortality rate. You're having people dying during pregnancy, women, and also having babies dying during pregnancy. I think that's what made to where now we are at. To reduce that, you can't run away from every year, so the mortality rate, and looking at the facilities, health facilities that we have in our country, can they sustain the growth rate of birth rate at that magnitude if the population starts reproducing in a year or so?
I'm foreseeing a situation where the organizations are actually working against people having children. And
NGOs,
because already there are statistics. Even this COVID that we had, I do not know how true it is. We had some people, other people, and other advocates, and also scholars were saying no, it is just one way of reducing the population in the world because we are overpopulated. Okay, God did not say the population was not good. It was a thing. It just go and multiply. I don't know if we need to reach a point where every space of this earth is occupied. Yeah. I don't know about that, but
and a big population is good for an economy.
Yes, it is. This is the reason why when you look at countries like Nigeria,
yes,
is the
Japan, China, those populations. That's why those guys are are the giant in terms of economy.
yes, it means I'll give you an example. It means you're going to have a lot more people that are working.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot more schools, a lot more hospitals, a lot more. So it's
And
like
a
you
lot
put
of customers.
and a lot of
When
customers,
one
yes.
product is produced. For instance, these are typhoons
Like even your-
in Nigeria.
Eh.
They used to sell rice or noodles. A noodle can be at 1 naira. If you sell to 1 million people, that is a 1 million naira money. So if we're talking about Zambian, if we produce a 1 kwacha product and you sell to a population of 1 million, you're talking about 1 million.
Someone said, made mention of something that someone said. I think it was a time when BlackBerry was trending.
Yeah.
He found to say BlackBerry in Nigeria was it Nigeria or Kenya, was cheaper than in Zambia. And the analysis they gave, I don't know how that correct is, but I can remember most of things someone said. They said a situation where you call it, you business people, you call it turnover.
Yes.
Turnover. So the frequency of turnover. So they say if I'm going to make 1 kwacha or 2 kwacha from this product, but I'm making that 1 kwacha from a frequency of maybe 1,000. Okay, and yet that is in populated country.
Yeah.
And also looking at the financial mass of people that can afford that. Obviously, in densely populated areas, you find to say there are a number of people that can afford.
Yeah.
And unlike this side where I'm going to sell, maybe I make 1,000 profit from one,
Yeah.
but I'm going to sell only 2 of them in a month. But this side, I'm selling what I'm selling, I'm making this side, I'm able to make it in 1 day, but at a very cheap price.
Yeah.
So it's also, that's how it works. If you look at the financial mass of people that can buy and the frequency of buying, and I think this is the part where these other chain stores we have in this country, they've got that advantage because they know for sure,
Yeah.
come what may, someone is going to go to these chain stores that we have in this country. Unlike certain people that have opened maybe a grocery shop in our neighborhood, it's like to say maybe my neighbor, if he passes, maybe.
Yeah.
But for these chain stores, to say this person is going to come and this will always sell.
Yeah, I think a low population always disadvantages. So I think that statement where it says kids have become exotic and a luxury of the rich. So you'd find, I think these superpowers are looking at, these countries are easier to conquer. Those vulnerable can't even educate them. So they are always at the mercy of NGOs to support, to train. And those who are educated, who can sustain a kid, they are like, I would rather keep a pet or flowers. So we've got an imbalance.
Are people becoming
uneducated
too
and-
selfish to share their resources with children?
I think so. There is a bit of selfishness there. People have become selfish. I would rather consume everything, no inheritance for anyone, and if I die, I leave no stress to any of my family members. But it shouldn't be like that. Life should be shared. Resources should be shared. Resources should also.
So in short,
be
you're saying
transferred
everyone at least
in
should
a-
have a child at one point or the other.
Yes.
How
Yes.
about those that decide to go in the ministry full time and say maybe based on prescription of their ministry?
But that shouldn't be a bigger population. They are in a rare case like that. Yes, they are tolerated. They have got their purpose in society. But we don't want to see a situation where the majority people don't want to leave the next
But
generation
hold on.
of anything.
Is it because maybe we can call them on the crazy aspect? I think the rate at which young people are falling pregnant is much higher than before. I think even the number of children, school-going children, falling pregnant is higher than before.
Not really. I think it used to be a lot even in modern terms. I've seen, if you look at the age range
No,
of
they're
our
looking
parents
at
when they got
you when you were
married
in
and-
school. When you were in school. How many can you remember that one fell and stopped school because of pregnancy?
I remember they were on, and it was big news then. There were only about 2.
Thank you. But this time, the people that within almost every school.
No, maybe because of social media.
No, it's not about social media because
no, we never had.
I think there was a report by some NGO where they say should be during the COVID period or just even natural. I have heard there are reports everywhere. There are reports where this time it has even become like a normal thing where like 2, 3, 4, at least 5. Now it is becoming like almost every school will experience 1 or 2 falling out of school because of pregnancy. But then it used to be not every intake. Yeah. It used to be once in a while, and it used to be like a big thing.
So meaning of punishments, like if you fall pregnancy, you are not going to be allowed in school. I think when that was abolished, we saw a lot of people becoming careless in terms of kids. You saw when Magufuli brought that rule in Tanzania, what it did and what was happening. And actually it was more stiffer. He said even the boy that has made that one pregnant.
Actually, that is what we have even in this country. If a boy has impregnated, like you're both students or pupils at that school, when you impregnate this girl, you both go. I remember, I think there was a case when I was at school where...
Those are boarding schools. Day school, the boy continues.
No, even day school. That is the policy that no, even day school. When it is known to say you are the one and you are the one, you agreed. The only problem comes in maybe if you've said, I am not responsible. Yet you've been pointed at. But if you are pointed and it is known to say you both stop, because I think there was an issue of unfairness. And yet there were advocates also, other advocates were saying, no, at least the two cannot just remain at home. But let one at least go, so that at least in case of anything, is not disadvantaged and will come and take care of the child. Yeah. But this issue of having children, this time having children is even become so easier. Yeah. You don't need to know a man, you can actually go and buy a child. You know that?
I'm thinking now because of these contraceptive people are...
No, people are buying children. You can go for fertility clinic and you fall pregnant there, and you even choose. You're able to choose like it has become easier now. You can have I want my child these genes, these traits to have, my child to have this, my child to have this, my child to... You know that there's even a way on, if you want to have twins, you can have twins. You decide like want to have twins. You know, technology has advanced that way, and also you can decide to, in medical terms, of course, you can also decide to have, because people don't want to go through the process of the natural way of giving birth, you can also decide to have your child born through caesar, and you can decide also the birthday of your child, like I want my child to be 9th December, and you put there. And you just tell the doctor, on this you're booked, and you just walk in nicely, and the child is born. So giving birth this time has become so easier. Falling pregnant has become easier. Let's assume the woman is actually in position to fall pregnant. There are a lot more other aspects that,
There should be a deeper study. From my rare observation, I think people are more scared to fall pregnant than HIV. They would rather... There should be a deeper... The way people are taking these contraceptive pills not to fall pregnant and...
How did you know? We
interact with these farmers.
Least I put my friend here in problems.
The way these youngsters are...
Because if you go in these pharmacies and drugstores, I think these emergency pills for pregnancy are actually selling than most of any other drug thing. Because if you ask these guys that in pharmacies, even if someone wants to take a survey, they should just go around and check how many. Because I hear some people in some of the schools, they are literally buying, and he's selling now to his. He goes and buy from orders. In case you have anything, you can come and quickly do that.
There's a lot of that.
So people are not scared of
HIV. No, they would rather prevent a pregnancy.
So basically, so you're telling us to say people will prevent pregnancy at all cost.
Yeah, that's how it is. Kuchechi vanone na mimba is better than ndwareko HIV.
And you know, there's a new trend that I have seen. Okay, like you have said, I think there's a new trend I have seen. I have heard from people, and what I've heard is very funny though. I think we need to look into it. One day we should have a discussion on it, where when people begin to go out, whether married or not married, okay, so they decide to rule out HIV. They go and have themselves checked. If they find to say no, they are negative, then the protection aspect in terms of knowing each other, man and woman, is ruled out.
Yeah.
And now comes pregnancy. And I think that's why you are saying. So now, the pregnancy aspect is either someone is going to be on these, what do you call them, contraceptives, or emergency contraceptive pills.
Yes.
Like you take, but you know that the taking of, you can take this today and tomorrow there'll be a time it will not work, and I think most people have
victim.
Yes. So in short, the issue of having children is becoming something like a big thing, and people that are falling victims mostly, I think the ladies. Some of them, I heard a very crazy thought where she said, I cannot have children because it will deform my structure and I don't want to change.
I've heard several.
No, look at my body. If I'm going to have a child, it will change. I do not want that.
Yeah.
And it is a very unfortunate thing to hear someone say that.
Yeah. So I think we can't exhaust the topic. It's quite lengthy. We'll hear some comments from the viewers. Please put up your comments. You know, you've heard the different statements of those who really would rather keep a pet or grow flowers than have kids. So
you want to say flowers if you have flowers?
Obviously, you can give us also the disadvantages of not having kids, or the population that is. The nation that has got a population that is dwindling instead of growing. I think look forward to your comments. Thanks.
Thank you.